The Waterman. The Waterman. Once upon a time. I'm really thirsty. If I could please just... You'll get your damn water. The Waterboy, starring Adam Sandler. I got plenty more where that came from. I love Adam Sandler. I love Adam Sandler. So what are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna convince Josh and Brandon to watch a bunch of Adam Sandler movies with me for a MAM. And in doing so, my soul will finally be freed from the clutches of the fire demon. I understand. Whee! For you, Waterman. I laughed 8 times. I chuckled 9 times. More than I expected. Adam Sandler versus MAM. Adam Sandler 1 is Click. Adam Sandler 2 is 50 First Dates. Adam Sandler 3 is Ran Over Me. Adam Sandler 4 is Mr. Deeds.
Adam Sandler gets a remote that allows him to control reality, but it has a memory, so it remembers what he does and starts doing it automatically. And he skips over things, and then it begins to skip over them all the time.
Mm-hmm. You wanted a universal remote. That remote controls your universe.
So I can re-experience any part of my life I want to.
It starts off him skipping over actual things people would skip over, like doing a project on a building and boring family dinners and all that stuff, and then he ended up accidentally skipping sex.
Massaging away here.
It feels good. Oh, yeah.
Other things.
Skips through.
The major thing that makes him skip through all the years
Just skip
is
promotion.
Skip promotion, but also skip sickness. So he had a cold at the very beginning of the movie, and had the cold for like the first 20 minutes of the movie, and then he's just like, I've had enough, I'm going to skip to when I'm better, and he skips, and it turns out he skipped like a month or something. And then that happens again, but then he gets like cancer.
Promotion, he skips like 10 years or something.
Promotion, it was a year at the beginning.
And then I think it was 10 years.
Yes, 10 years after that. And then he got sick with cancer, and then that was another like 20 years or something.
Yeah. So in short, Adam Sandler gets a magic remote and accidentally skips through his life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
because
he's skipping, he goes in autopilots, everybody ends up hating him. Joshua.
Tell me what you think about Click.
Click is a comedy. It's not very funny.
That's what they say. Would you argue the funniness of Click?
No, not really. Click was one of those movies where like I wouldn't say grew up with, but I did watch it a fair amount of times when I was younger.
Okay.
At least 5 or 6 times.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Does not hold up as well.
Okay. For me, overall, I think it's actually pretty good. Comedy is the worst part about it by far. But I can understand the heart behind the movie. And I think that overall, that's what everyone appreciates it for in the end.
Right. But when you're watching a comedy, it does help if it's funny.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And would it be nice for it to also be funny? Oh, yes. But then, this is Adam Sandler. Are we asking too much?
From a stand-up comedian from Saturday Night Live, I don't think we are.
Worst part about it was the jokes, because they're usually unfunny. So maybe sometimes I thought they were funny, but unlikely. And they always dragged on for too long. Okay, that's right. So when he slaps the boss in the face, he pauses the time, slaps the boss in the face. Fine, I get that. You could say that's funny. But then he continues, he slaps him again, and then he farts in his face, and it doesn't stop. And that's the biggest problem with... I think most of the jokes in any of these movies, the jokes just do not stop. They way out. They keep going.
They also
repeat.
repeat themselves, like the dog, the duck,
Yeah.
the stuffed duck. Like that happened at least 4 times during the movie.
I mean,
Did
a
not laugh
recurring
once.
joke, understandable, but yeah, they played it for too long. This is a question I have. Okay, what happened to the ginger kid?
Right, so the ginger kid is the kid that Adam Sandler got in a spat with consistently.
Yeah, early on.
And it just...
Destroyed his toys.
It just kind of
Used
ended.
him.
That should have been a recurring character again. There should be a massive setup. Maybe he goes to McDonald's in the future and he's working there. Or maybe he becomes his boss in the future or something. But it was just gone.
He was never shown in the future.
Well, let's ask the question, what is the point of the ginger kid? Is it to just set up Adam Sandler as a dick?
Yeah, I guess so.
No, that's what it was.
And if Adam Sandler stops being a dick at any point in the movie, then you sort of want to see a bit of redemption, a bit of
yes,
a reversal of that relationship with the ginger kid.
which they should have done. Maybe you should have, after he says hi, wakes his parents up, after he goes and says had a pillow fight, he goes next to the ginger kid and says, "I bought you a new dog toy."
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. And still punch him.
No, I would have preferred if, like, as he's jumping through the future, like, maybe the first time where he becomes fat, like, he sees the ginger kid.
Just like a bit of a callback.
Yeah. I don't know.
Otherwise, yeah. But I guess it does... you're right. It can show that he was a dick back in the day. But after the whole thing, he's not like that anymore.
I think that kid was just there for the whole, like, stereotypical, like, rich kid next door always,
true.
bragging about their parents and all that. That's all it was.
Part of it, I think the movie does want you to root for Adam Sandler a bit. Would you say it does, or would you say...
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah,
the kid's an arsehole to
Yeah.
his son, so...
So, as a movie, do you think it conveys the plot effectively?
I think once the jokes were gone, so by the time it come to the end of the movie, I think it was actually pretty emotional, and I think it was fairly successful in the way it was conveying its message. Would you disagree?
Yeah, well, I am a little conflicted.
Okay. Why?
Because I can definitely see why that might be the case. I think there's also the question, is it actually a well-told story, or is it just a breath of fresh air from the terrible comedy, and then you actually get something that isn't straight up awful?
Interesting. I think that's a fair confliction to have.
Compared to his other movies he's done, where they try and do the whole family, like, family first, love your family and all that stuff, it's probably one of the better ones.
But definitely, I see what you're saying. It's like, is it only really actually feel like it's good because in contrast to what we had before, it was pretty trash?
I will definitely agree that sort of latter section of it
was the best.
It's the high point of the film.
Yeah, definitely.
The last act of the film where he's like old and he owns the company and all that.
Yeah.
That was good, and his son's getting married and all that stuff. I did enjoy that because the jokes just like took a back seat, and they were like, yeah, no more jokes here. We're gonna focus on him and his family. So I didn't mind that. But before that, like the middle stuff where it's like he's going through and he's fat, and it's like, haha, fat man. Not so funny.
The story is very simplistic, which and it's quite moralistic. It's sort of saying, it's not subtle in its moral message. But I think that's fine in a comedy.
Yeah.
I think it was you know what? I will say it was a comedy an effective comedy story. But it was
comedy itself.
Yeah.
Was where it fell apart.
And I think that's really what drags the movie down.
Definitely.
The first time Adam Sandler has sex with his wife in the movie, not in the relationship, she wants him to massage him for the foreplay, and he's like, I don't want that, I just want straight into the action.
Yeah.
So he skips that part, and then that goes into the remote, and the remote remembers that, so anytime they get frisky, it skips the entire sex session.
But
so that happens like 3 times or 4 times where it goes to like the shadow silhouette, and he's just like boop 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 boop, sex done in a minute, and it goes to the clock, and it's like a minute has passed.
I would say as a joke it doesn't really work, but the whole point of the thing being like when something happens that he doesn't actually want to start skipping.
Yeah.
I think that's
I guess
that works at the point there. But as a joke, I didn't think it was very funny. Well, I think I did think was funny was when David Hasselhoff was given the sex meeting or whatever. But he's just like very contradictory and he's being hell sexist anyway.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah.
That's okay, yeah.
Sexual harassment can come in many forms. You see, what is
hilarious to some could be offensive to others. Let me try to give you a real-life example, because I'm sure I've done it. Like the day I said,
you want a promotion? Break out the lotion. I was technically engaged in sexual harassment. Hilarious sexual harassment, if you ask me.
Now, there is also homosexual harassment. Great news. Eric Lamonsoff killed himself.
It's a solid one-off joke.
But then the part that was annoying about it was then Adam Sandler was just like, not really paying
ruining the speech.
yeah. No, he's like that was trying to be the joke when the actual real joke was David Hasselhoff.
Do you think Adam Sandler's constant mumbling in his films, do you think that's meant to be funny?
I think that's just how he talks.
So some side points, I thought that the life menu looks pretty cool.
The what?
The menu.
Whoa.
Adam Sandler, old Adam Sandler actually looked good.
Yeah. The makeup.
Fat Adam Sandler, not so much.
No.
But old Adam Sandler, they like.
You're right.
I believe I read up that either they were nominated or won an award for best makeup for this movie of the year, which isn't too hard to believe with old Adam Sandler.
So when it's going to that part, when he's looking back and he wasn't there for his own dad's death, his dad says, I love you, he tells his dad to bugger off. I was like, this is actually pretty emotional.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually quite successful in what it does. And the message is quite good, because sometimes it takes something terrible to happen for people to realise how good they actually have it. But why can't we just realise it now? Why does something terrible have to happen for us to realise how good we have life?
Because this man was like, he was working like, not even 9 to 5, like 9 to like 9, and he had his wife like nagging him. Not saying women nag and all that, but it was pretty much it. Like the whole weekend, it was one weekend. She was like, "We want to go camping," and he's like, "No, I really need to get this project done so I can get a promotion, so I can provide for everyone." And she was like, "You dumb!" It's like, hang on, wait. He's trying his hardest.
But that's the point, is that's always his I have to keep working on this, but he never stops working on it.
Yeah, I guess.
Disregards all family.
I want to see a follow-up where he
just lives a good life.
No, he does the stuff with his family, but his work life is just like downhill, and they have to like move house, and they just like living in a motel, and it's just shit.
True. Family comes first.
No, I get the message in the end. So,
but you know, like he went back after everything happened. He went back to the beginning, and his life hadn't changed at all. But he was really happy because he saw how bad things could have gotten. But if he realised that from the beginning that how good his life really was, then he wouldn't have had to gone through the terrible stuff. So the message is, in real life, family comes first, of course, and maybe we ought to realise how good we actually have life.
You know, I think the moral of the film would have had more punch to it if he just died miserable and alone, having wasted his entire life and not experienced any of it because it was just on autopilot. I think that would have been
dramatic. You're right.
Yeah.
More dramatic.
Yeah.
But for the kind of movie it is, going in for the start
for
of
a
it,
light-hearted comedy film, that's
at least the beginning of it is light-hearted. You need to have a similar end.
yeah.
But I think, for what the movie was, I think it ending on his death would have not been appropriate.
it would have made sense for Morty. Oh, you go first.
If the movie had been funny, if it had felt as if I was enjoying a fun comedy film that went really dark and serious for a little while, then yes, coming back to the light-hearted comedic
would have hit much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would have been like, oh.
But as it stood, I think since the drama was the only
strongest.
Yeah, it was the strong part of the film, relatively speaking. That's how I wanted it to end.
Yeah. So I guess I think all of that consensus is if the comedy was good, then it would have been good. Surely Adam Sandler's not the only person that Morty's giving this remote to. But if he isn't, then inevitably, it depends how many people have the remote. There's going to be some kind of online forum somewhere. People are going to be like, bro, I had this remote one time that Andrew Death gave me. Oh yeah, so did I. Oh yeah, so did I. And then all those people come together, and then they realise what's going on.
And they take him on. They take on the Angel of Death. No, I think the remote was purely for Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Like, it fitted his situation so perfectly. Maybe Morty's like going to other people. It's like, here, have a spaghetti that, I don't know, does something else, changes your appearance because you're not happy with your appearance. Eat the spaghetti.
Be careful what you wish for, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then like you eat too much spaghetti and then you're too pretty.
Yeah, so it's not specifically the remote. It's different things for
What
different
it
people's.
fixed. Yeah, so his whole scenario was like he wanted to skip a whole heap of boring stuff. So like remote.
Yes.
Here's my theory.
Okay.
Some bad writers made up the concept and just decided, hey, this works.
Can't accept that.
No, it all has to make sense internally.
Adam Sandler working with bad writers? Never.
Let's talk about the Round the Twist Spaghetti Pickout episode.
Oh yeah.
So I said, honestly, it's not really comparable.
Yes!
I've said what I thought. It gets best when the comedy is forgotten and it's all in the emotion.
Yeah.
And the drama.
Well, I would say that's true, but also the drama ultimately fails.
You think so?
Because it's drama that's there to support a comedy film and the comedy that should be built on top of it. Or it could be the other way around.
All I can say is I enjoyed it a lot more when I was younger, and
fighting in someone's face is funny when you're younger, you know?
Yeah, it's still kind of funny.
Yeah,
now.
kids are morons.
But the message was there, the drama was there. I've got a family, not to brag, and
Family bragger, family bragger.
Okay, 50 First Dates, you know a date. You know how you can go on a date. Well, this guy goes on 50 dates, but this chick doesn't remember anything.
Dr. Henry Roth's best relationships were with his patients, and he wasn't looking to settle down. But one day, the unthinkable happened.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like
Every time she goes to sleep, she forgets.
Overall, 50 First Dates, again, I thought it was quite good.
you don't like it?
50 First Dates was surprise. It was a
genuine
pleasant surprise.
Because this actually had some funny jokes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The fish slap because he slaps the.
I know, Alexa.
Sorry I smacked you with that. You needed the fish slap to calm down. Do you understand?
When Drew Barrymore beats up Rob Schneider.
Holy! Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah, that's right. Take that.
You got him. You got him. Enough.
Are you okay?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'll be right back. Hey,
No,
come here!
no. I think he's had enough. Oh.
That was pretty damn funny. I still really like that joke. Opening scene where there's an old lady and Kevin James saying how much they like this character.
You found that funny?
And no, mostly when he was a secret agent.
Well, can I call you when I land?
You can call me, but I'll be in Peru. Ooh, I said that a little loud. Come on, that's a 187. Cold blue, we got the wolf sleeping at night. He's slipping his right arm in the drawer, and out comes the cookie jar. All clear. Bling, blang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Got it? Mm-hmm.
And I wrote...
Oh, wait, yeah, you acted like a secret
Bing
agent.
bong, walla walla bing bong. Zoop. And then she goes to kiss him, and he spins around, and he jumps in the guy's thing. The whole concept of him being some secret agent to get away from a girl, I thought that was pretty funny.
I thought you just found the secret agent part cool.
I thought it was
because
funny.
didn't you want that like the rest of the movie to be him pretending to be a secret agent? Which I'm sure there's an Adam Sandler.
What year did this? Was this released?
Like, yeah, 50 First Dates came out.
2004.
I was gonna guess, but cool.
As I've said to you previously, I definitely enjoyed a lot more of the comedy, but it just had this rapey undertone.
So that's what I thought. So I know, Josh, you were unsure if it was like borderline rape, right?
Yeah.
But this is what I thought, apparently. But by the end, in my opinion, I thought it was actually pretty sweet.
No.
As far as romances go, and I haven't seen a whole lot of them, not gonna lie, but for example, The Notebook, right? Ryan Gosling's character, he threatens to kill himself if the chick doesn't go on a date with him.
Are you reading this?
When she has a boyfriend. Plus that Christmas movie where Rick from Walking Dead, he holds a sign up saying, I love you, to a girl who's married, and then they kiss, like, bro, what a terrible romance. And they're seen as like excellent romance films. Whereas this movie, Adam Sandler is in love with this woman and he's going 26 miles further than anyone else would ever think about going just for this girl. And she obviously likes him. It's not like he's forcing himself upon her.
That does go. So with your whole rape.
Henry Roth is his name. Is
Yes.
actually a nice guy to Lucy, and he's not a manipulative and he's not abusive. And as far as romance goes, it's harmless. And he does better than the dad and the brother do, because he says he gives a little tape and he's like,
The dad and brother were trying, but
yeah. Back
to the rapey stuff. I gotta support you because
support Josh or me?
No, you.
Okay.
Some first dates do end with
rape.
Picture this.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a normal person, just going about, you're just living your life. You wake up one day, pregnant. Okay, well that's kind of odd. You know, then you sort of, get out, you look around, hey, where am I? You leave your room, you're in a boat in Antarctica.
That's why the video, like the moment she wakes up, it plays straight away, or it's right next to her.
And that's the thing. Obviously, that'll be very troublesome to her, but she obviously, I think she's the kind of girl that would want a normal life. And what's the other alternative? Is her to do what the brother and the
I haven't
do?
even finished. You go out of your little cabin.
Yeah.
Who's the father of this baby?
Ew, it's me, Adam Sandler. Woo.
Yeah. Never.
She obviously
someone
thinks
I've never seen in my life before. As far as
she
she's
thinks it's
concerned.
attractive enough. But what's the alternative? Is that she wakes up one day and she's 80 years old and it's like, what the hell's going on?
Well, they do mention that in the movie. But also to go, I don't know how it actually works, because in the end of the movie, after they've been on like 50 dates or more, she goes to like the institute where all the other people who've got brain damage and short-term memory loss and all that stuff stay. And she ends up having dreams about Adam Sandler and drawing them. So does that mean she remembers him to a certain point? So maybe when she sees him, she's not 100% like, oh my god, who's this person? She's like, no, you seem familiar
At
enough
least
to
oddly
me
familiar.
that won't freak out. She wakes up. She's like, all right, I guess I have a kid and you're my husband and the father of this kid. Cool, I can wrap my head around. How's my father doing? Adam Sandler's like, he died.
It'll be in the tape.
Yeah.
So when he dies, Every morning,
But
she's
still-
going to be mourning.
No, not every morning. Sometimes people, and maybe she's one of them shaking the table, maybe she's one of these people where it takes a long time to mourn over someone like your father, like a parent.
So she would never mourn.
She would take the whole day to mourn.
Oh, I thought you meant take a while to...
No, she would be like, oh my god, my dad's dead, this is depressing. All day just be sad and down and all that. Just like, I just want to go to bed. Go to bed, wakes up, does it again, and just in an endless loop of being sad.
There's definitely points in her life where it'll be parts of happiness. Like I think the movie ended. She wakes up, watches the tape, like what the hell's going on? Goes out, she's got a loving husband, she's got a beautiful daughter, she has a dad there fishing. Oh, this is actually crap, but you know what? My life's actually pretty great, so I'm happy. But the older she gets, the worse it is going to get for her, which is inevitable. But having Adam Sandler there to be that support, to have her the tape, is much better than her not having
Yeah,
Adam
I'm not
Sandler.
saying like the tape shouldn't happen. I'm just saying like that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 80% sure that's how her life will be for the rest of her life after finding out. And there will be days where she wakes up and she'll be like, how's my father? And Adam Sandler's just going to be like, we've had a whole month of you just being sad. So I'm just going to say he's fine and in like Alaska. That's cool. And then she won't question it. She'll be like, oh, cool, I guess he's over there.
But that's the whole point of what he makes the tape for. When he say he needs to cut out some Rob Schneider jokes in the tape, because he put too many Rob Schneider jokes in the tape, I'm like, you cut that out because we don't, you're wasting too much time.
Rob Schneider saying,
It'll be
your
stand-up.
dad's dead.
It'll be stand-up comedy.
But like still in the outfit of Lucy. And he's like playing with the coconuts and he's like, yeah, your dad died, dude. Cancer, got him.
But with Adam Sandler being there for her, to support her, that's a much better option than her having nobody.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that's wrong, but just...
So she's in a pretty bad situation. I think that's conveyed well.
Oh, yeah.
But what I did like about that is that she was never fixed. It could have been cliche. Oh, I'm better now.
Yeah.
I remember you. But they never did that, and that was I appreciate that.
They did like not foreshadow, but they did mention something. Dan Aykroyd, one of the Ghostbusters, comes in and he's like the doctor for her. It was just out of nowhere, and he did mention he was just like, oh, she could recover from this. Like he straight up just said she could recover from this, and I wouldn't say first time watching this, but did you feel like, because which one of you didn't see this movie before?
I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, did you think when he said that she was going to recover at any point?
I thought that was where it was heading.
No. Yeah. Well, I'm also glad it did not.
I think it's good that it didn't. Had more balls and click.
Bad things. Number one, unfunny jokes, animal stuff. Most of the animal jokes. So there was some kind of animal jokes. That was all garbage.
Kid stuff. It's It's like Imagine Happy Feet.
There wasn't a lot of animal jokes. Like there was.
No, there wasn't.
The walrus at the beginning, and then the penguin being like, "Ice cream, get dirty."
It seemed like it was setting something up that never really got to pick terribleness.
And most of Rob Schneider was pretty unfunny as well.
Really, I liked the part where. Anyway, No, I actually didn't mind some of his jokes. Out of all the characters I've seen him play in comedy movies,
he's done worse.
He's definitely done worse, but you can say that about a lot of people.
Rob Schneider's done worse, or Adam Sandler.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah, well, I liked the little fish tank part.
Oh, baby.
From the bottom, so it's
been there for a while.
either he managed to dive into this water without making a noise, and then swim to the bottom, or he was just at the bottom this whole time. That was a good joke. Yeah, that was funny. But
so it seems like, which is a big part of Mr. Deeds as well. The best jokes are when it sort of goes over the top, like when Drew Barrymore beats the shit out of Rob Schneider with a baseball bat, when Rob Schneider comes from out of nowhere in the tank. What I will say is I appreciate the montage scene, because she didn't remember it. He could have done the same trick every single day to lure her in, but he did different every time, just for our amusement.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
And I appreciated that.
He winked at the camera a few times. I'm like, oh, thanks, Adam.
Now, this is one of my biggest gripes. Why did it end with the seals?
Oh yeah, that was okay.
The ending was good, and then all of a sudden it cuts to the seals. It wasn't a joke. They just cut to them. And then
too
it's
many
like,
seals for my liking.
if they cut that whole part out of the movie, it would have ended. I wouldn't have a sour taste in my mouth. I would be like, oh, that was
Just,
actually
like,
pretty good.
out of
But then it's like,
place.
yeah. Overall, yeah.
No, it really held up from when I watched it yet again as a child.
I was
don't know why.
pretty pleasantly surprised.
I believe the romance. I genuinely believe the romance.
And I think Adam Sandler, as an actual romance character, as a guy, I think he was actually a genuinely good guy. I kind of end up forgetting about the first part of the movie, like towards the end. Like, you forget that he used to be a prick because they didn't really show it that much. It was kind of an intro to his character. And it kind of didn't serve more than a laugh to me, to be honest. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh, he used to be such a womanizer, but now he's a good man. I just thought, he's a good man. And I was just like, oh, the first part was funny.
So would you recommend 50 First Dates?
Yeah, go on. If you got the family around and it's like, what should we watch? 50 First Dates is an option and you haven't seen it. I'm like, yeah, go on, watch it.
And like,
I think it's a good
there's
family
some
movie.
adult stuff in there, but it is a family movie. I did watch it with my family a lot, and my parents loved it, and that's why they introduced it to me. So I would recommend.
Yeah,
to
it's a
watch
good
it.
family movie for sure.
Yeah.
No?
Should watch.
At least 50 times.
You should watch Bicycle Thieves instead.
Okay. With the family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rape aside, it's worth a watch.
Final thoughts. I disagree with there being rape. As a romance movie, it works. As a comedy movie, it mostly works.
I was really happy with this movie, and it, like, I don't know why it made me really happy by the end of it. When you two were actually happy with the movie, I was just like, oh wow, what I felt as a child still is here, and you guys somewhat feel the same. So yeah, would recommend, and
yep,
it's a really good movie.
I was happy with this. Yep. I am
Reign Over Me is, unlike the other two movies, is actually all drama, and despite this being an Adam Sandler 4-pack, I don't think this is... Adam Sandler's a main character, but I think this is really a Don Cheadle movie.
Adam Sandler is what you call the deuterotagonist.
Yes.
Big word.
Big word for big boy. Now, yeah, for the first, 10 minutes, it's following Don Cheadle. Like, there's no Adam Sandler.
No, for the first 10 seconds, it's following Adam Sandler.
Oh, hey, Charlie! Charlie!
I ran into Charlie Feynman today.
Really? How is he?
Hey, Charlie, it's Alan, man. We know each other? Are you kidding me?
Who's Charlie Feynman, Daddy?
As you can see on the menu, you do see the back of Adam Sandler riding through New York on a scooter. But after that, it goes in Don Cheadle's life. Now, Don Cheadle's your, regular Joe New Yorker. He's a professional dentist. He has a wife and a daughter, yes. And he's just living the New York life until he sees Adam Sandler, which was his old college roommate, ride past, and he's like, "Oh,
bro, went to college
do you remember
together.
his name?
What's up, fam? Do you know what I mean?"
Yeah, whatever his name. Well, he was just like, "Hey, Adam," and then
what is his name?
Oh, I can't remember. It was something.
Charlie Feynman.
Because they said it so many times.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll just say Adam. Hey, Adam. And then Adam Sandler doesn't respond and all that. And he finally, gets in contact with Adam Sandler and they try and rekindle. But Adam Sandler isn't who he was back in college. He's somewhat of a broken man.
First off, I think we should, before we get into spoilers, I would say, and I think Brandon will say the same, and I think maybe you say the same, I would recommend you see the movie because it's pretty damn good. And it's a good movie, and I liked it.
Better watch the movie.
Now, let's get on to it.
They mention the plane crash throughout the movie very early on, and you're like, okay, this man is broken by a plane crash. Yeah, terrible thing to happen. Plane crashes happen a lot of the time. Shouldn't, but it does. And he lost his entire family. His wife and 2 kids, 2 daughters. That's terrible. So, about an hour and 20 minutes into this film, Don Cheadle's talking to the accountant who's friends with Adam Sandler's character.
Yep,
ex-friends. And they're just having a normal conversation. And the character, the accountant, he goes yeah, Adam hasn't been the same since... Oh, his personality changed September 12th, 2001. And I was like...
September 11?
Oh, no, he said the day after. He said the day after because, it was the day after he just turned into what he is now. And I was just like, Hang on.
Yeah, literally, I think that just went completely over my head.
Yeah.
Josh, you didn't react, and then Brandon was just like,
I caught on straight away, but I was
literally,
Yeah.
it went straight
I was
over
just
my
like,
head.
what plane crash happened the day before? And I'm like, oh my god, this can't be happening. So it turns out Adam Sandler's family did not only just die in a plane crash, but they died in the plane crash.
I was his best friend. His golfing and his fishing buddy, okay? Our family's vacation together. Okay. On September 12th, 2001, that was over. It wants nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with my wife. He likes you, Ellen.
Hang
you know
on. Hang on. Let's take it back.
You know nothing about Doreen and Gina.
Are you telling me?
And Gina. Or Spider, the family poodle. You know nothing about
telling
them, so
me
he figures
Adam
he won't ask
Sandler's
any
wife
questions.
and
He
3
figures
children
We'll just let him be.
were on 9/11.
Now, how funny is this?
That is what
You're
he
up here
said.
wanting me to help out get another fruitless campaign to get Charlie to see his friend.
He said it was all
The
over
one guy who figures
September
just
12th, 2001, the day after 9/11. It could have just been a regular plane crash. You didn't have to bring 9/11 into it.
But the only reason I'm laughing is not because of the tragedy, is because it just went completely over my head, and then you're like, wait, what? And I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I legit
oh, is that what you
freaked
said?
out. Now, would you say from that point on the movie changed for you? Because it definitely changed for me. Not completely where I was like, this is the best movie ever to like, where's the best? But like, it did like, change my approach.
It definitely reframed what was going on with Adam Sandler's character.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so it definitely made... It was... Because it was like... It was a mystery before that. Thing is, it's when you read the advertisement, it tells you what happened. It says, he lost his family in 9/11. But not knowing that, it's like, it's a mystery beforehand, and then it's like...
Funny thing about that, yes, it does say on the internet 9/11, but I watched a trailer yesterday. Not once does it mention 9/11. It mentions plane crash or the stuff I mentioned before, but it doesn't say 9/11. So they do actually want you to go into this movie
blind,
not knowing it's 9/11.
Well, definitely. You can tell. You can't say from a promotional material what the filmmakers intended you to know. The filmmakers made the film intending you to know nothing.
Yes.
Obviously,
sure.
yeah.
And so... it can be concerning hearing that it's about a guy who lost his family in 9/11, and it's like, well, they're just using real world tragedies to connect it to real life, and they're going to use that as make it all like, you know, just try and freaking, I don't know the words for it, but they're trying to make it tragic in the movie because it was tragic in real life, but they do it very well. They do it, I don't think they could have done it much better than they did.
No.
It wasn't insulting, it wasn't just using a tragic event to make the movie more tragic fictionally. They actually did. I think it did its job pretty much perfectly, I thought.
And it was released in 2007?
2007. So during the time we were watching it, I got, unfortunately, Mr. Deeds and this movie release dates mixed up, and I legit thought Reign Over Me came out the year after 9/11.
Which seems, that would be
bizarre,
pretty tasteless.
Bizarre, because they would have been filming it during the year of 9/11, which should have made sense.
2007, it really...
It's kind
knowing
of...
that it seems like a film that was specifically inspired and conceived in light of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
and it's kind of just the right amount of time.
I have seen 6 years. I've seen some reviews of people saying, no, this is tasteless.
Yes.
And I think you could make that case, although I'm not sure I agree with it.
But I think that's what I was saying before. I think it could be, you could say, oh, it could be tasteless, but the way they did it, I don't think it was tasteless. I think they did it well.
Mm-hmm. And it is, 9/11 does reshape the film, but it's not what it's about.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
about the broken man.
It's about mental illness and it's about the system. It's kind of similar to...
Which would you argue that the movie could have been the same and everything, the same beats and all that, if it wasn't a 9/11 crash? Like, if it was just a regular plane crash, because I'm sure he would have been somewhat equally as messed up. I guess it being a terrorist attack might change it a bit, where he's just like, well, it's not even like the plane malfunctioned or the pilots stuffed up. It was like 100% not the plane's fault or the people.
It's because Would it feel the same if the tragedy was just a fictional tragedy?
I feel like it would feel the same, but at the same time, as you see in the footage we shot of us watching it, for the first half, we were making jokes. We even had like a bet going on, like why this man was broken, and I said he was mentally disabled, and you said dead wife, so you were on the money, just didn't say why there was a dead wife. And we were making jokes, but the moment the 9/11 thing got put on us, there was no jokes after.
Completely changed.
We were definitely like just not into it obviously, but we were just like focused. We're like it's not like we can't make jokes. It was just like okay, this is a bit more serious than
it's like we
thought it was going to be. We were shocked. We were genuinely just shocked.
And it's not like it's a fictional take on a real life event. It's like it shows us fairly, what could be a realistic take on an aftermath of such an event, and the fact that it was something that happened in real life, I think it makes it better.
Yeah, I think it is true that it's not so easily dismissed when it is grounded in that real history.
Yes. Yeah.
Although you could probably think of counterexamples to that.
It's definitely a difficult question, difficult topic to discuss.
Yeah. They could have promoted this movie as like this is based off a real person, and I would have believed it. I would have been like, yeah, this is someone who was affected by the events of 9/11.
One little side note: the cinematography I thought was good for the Rain Over Me. I think we all mentioned it. The shot when he was playing PlayStation 2 and it shows him the corridor. You're like, oh, that's an interesting shot.
Just even that beginning shot where he's like just going through New York.
Yeah, just sort of following around his little scooter.
It made him. It did show off that like, even though he's in New York and especially at night time where it's like the busiest, I would say, he does just seem alone.
Yeah,
that's what they're like. Even like you see cars and some people, but you just focus on this man who has nothing. Really, who's just in the biggest city in the world but has nothing.
Emotional, for real. I reckon his Adam Sandler's monologue.
That monologue.
That was good. When he kisses mother on the cheek. Oh my goodness me.
Oh, and she just like cries. Yeah, that's like. Yeah.
Incredible acting. The emotional was spot on. It was.
I feel like Don Cheadle was probably one of the weakest actors in my opinion.
That's only because you're comparing him to
someone who's
Adam Sandler, who's he's a broken man, and he has
Don Cheadle's really just meant to be sort of a normal guy.
I guess
his
he played that
relationship
well,
with his wife isn't,
And I think they did that
it's sort of
well.
dysfunctional. Yeah. So I think
I don't think I have any problems with Don Cheadle's.
I wouldn't say a bad performance, but compared to everyone else, I guess.
It's only because you go on, I suppose, you're looking at some Adam Sandler's performance, which was very big. Donald Sutherland, thought he was a good judge.
Yeah.
I liked him.
I was like, where's he from?
I liked that he told people to shut up. And the lawyer guy, he was properly made out to be a real prick, which is like realistic.
Yeah, it worked. Ryan from The Office, was it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you pointed that out. Adam Sandler's parents-in-law, mother-in-law, and father-in-law, I feel like their characters are okay. At the very beginning, it seemed like they were complete a-holes. Like, I generally, before the whole 9/11 thing, I generally thought they were trying to take, like, his fortune or something. Because I guess he got paid out for the accident, the tragic event.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made out like they were just, like, trying to get back into his life so they can take his millions.
Yes.
But in reality, they were just, it's a hard thing to approach. They lost their daughter.
Yeah, of course.
This man's a broken person. He's not, he's family, but he's not family by blood, and it's all a sticky situation.
Yeah. Do you remember the scene where the lawyer puts the freaking picture of the kids in front of Adam Sandler as he's like...
Yeah, that was, and he just loses. Yeah, that was rough. This movie, I could sum it up as rough, but good.
Yeah, it's emotional.
Yeah,
but it's very successful in that. When a movie's able to make you feel something, then I think it's done a pretty good job.
If it moves you in a certain way, yeah, definitely is. Don Cheadle, I feel like then in 2007, he was big enough to be in this movie, but not big enough to be like, hey, that's Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Like right now, if a movie like this came out, everyone's like, hey, that's War Machine from all the Marvel movies.
Except for Iron Man 1.
Yeah, which came out the year after this. So he was good enough to be in that role, being the leading role, but not to like overcast Adam Sandler's character. Because imagine if you got Will Smith, they'll try and focus on Will Smith more, and then like Adam Sandler character will be there, but not as.
So
like,
for some reason, I feel like
there,
because Jada Pinkett Smith was the wife, they could have put Will Smith there easily, but I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad it was Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
It is interesting that Adam Sandler, in some ways, it was very similar to his characters in the other films. Just sort of in his mannerisms and the way he speaks and moves and stuff. But, well, not in every way, but there are a lot of similarities. But here it feels completely serious and it makes sense in this serious drama. Whereas in the comedies, it just feels like he's not.
Like, why is this human being acting like this?
Yeah.
Like, he does. I wouldn't say. I guess he does do some Adam Sandler stuff. Like, every time he's like, Don Cheadle, come out, hang out with me. Let's stay out till like 3 a.m. in the morning, even though you have work tomorrow.
Called Don Cheadle
Yeah, I went until you said that to see if you bring it up. Yeah, and that's some stuff you would see in Adam Sandler's comedies, but this is just this guy joking around with his college friend, just dare I say, maybe best friend now.
It was like two people really joking around in real life.
And just hanging out, no filter.
It had the highest. The comedy in this film, even though it was drama, had the highest success rate of any of these films.
Oh yeah, every like little joke or just like stab at a character was actually good and well placed. Like the lady at the dentist place, the other black girl.
Oh yeah, the receptionist.
Yeah, and anything to do with her, she was like
she's
pretty
really good.
funny.
I don't care what you think. This isn't a discussion. It's a warning. There's gonna be some changes made around here.
I liked how it ended. For some reason, I honestly thought Don Cheadle was like gonna die last minute, like he was gonna get mugged or something. But he just called his wife, and his wife cried, and he's like, "Yep, let's talk to me. Tell me about what's going on." And I was like, and he rode away on the scooter that he stole from Adam Sandler.
Yeah, which is messed up because Adam Sandler did not have a vehicle of his own. There's a girl early on in the movie.
Lots of plastic surgery.
I hope the rest of the stuff gets cut. To Don Cheadle's character.
Yeah, let's cut that.
Where she purely, like, the first scene, she books an appointment with Don Cheadle and she just wants to give him oral sex. There's no, like, context on why. She just says, like, I saw you across the building, I want. And Don Cheadle's like, no, you're insane, I'm married, get out of my office. And then she comes up a few more times and then there's, like, a lawsuit or something.
She didn't give him a sloppy toppy, but he...
I just want to introduce his character!
But she didn't give him a sloppy toppy because he didn't want her to, but she really wanted to. So because she didn't get to give him the Gork 3000, she threatened to give him a lawsuit. She gave him a lawsuit saying that he raped her when he never did. So because
I don't think that was rape, it was just, like, made advances on her.
Well, whatever it was going to do, it was going to, like, shut his business down.
Anyway, that's his dilemma besides his wife. But anyway, she comes up now and then they find out she's going to the same therapist as Adam Sandler's character, so that's how their, like, paths match and all that. But in the end, the last scene, Adam Sandler moves to a new apartment to, like, kind of not forget his old life, but not move on. Literally and, like, metaphorically.
And I'm telling you, hurry up.
I liked how in the end she was in the apartment for some reason, just visiting. It showed
because she
the slightest romance, like potential romance between the two characters because they kept on. Because who else? So during the movie, Adam Sandler's playing Shadow of the Colossus, which this man cannot beat Shadow of the Colossus over this time period, unlike him. But who else would be playing a video game and take the time out of their lives to turn around and look at a girl? Like, would you?
No.
No, exactly. So there's potential romance between them if she's got Adam Sandler doing that.
That's true.
But I did like the ending. That's my
I,
point
for one, have never looked at a girl.
Never. The moment you were born, you were just like, eyes were closed at your mum. Or the...
How you going, bro? Yeah, I'm good. Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah.
How you going, mate?
I did like Don Cheadle's character development because he begins. He's a bit of a pushover, but he's closed off.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely.
And then Adam's like, bro, back in high school, man, you ran that place, bro. You said, ain't no one messing with me. And he goes back to his business. He says, hey, you fools work for me, fam. Do you know what I mean? Cut it out, fam. Cut it out. And he comes back his original like gangster notoriety.
That happened, but did not. But I did like that little joke where Adam Sandler like knocks on the door, and it's like 12 at night or something.
10:30.
Was it 10:30?
Yeah.
Wow. Why do you remember that?
It was 10:30 p.m.
Oh. Anyway.
You want to go out, man? Go have some fun? Let's hang out.
Right now?
Yeah, wake up. Come on. Can he go out? Is he allowed out?
Charlie, don't do that. Don't ask my wife permission for me to go out. I'm standing right here in front of you. I'm not 7 years old.
All right, you're right. Can you go out?
I like that.
Good joke. That was a good joke.
Yeah. Also, did show his pushover. But yeah, final thoughts. I liked it.
Very good.
Really good.
Final thoughts, very good.
Not that good.
Not that good?
No.
Final thoughts, very good.
Very good film.
Adam Sandler lives in a small town with very little money. His great-grandfather has a lot of money and he dies, leaving Adam Sandler all the money because he has no other family members. Then Adam Sandler moves from his small town to his new town with all this money, and someone tries to make him look like a bad guy, so he loses money or something like that.
When Mr. Blake died, he left an enormous fortune. He left it all to you, Deeds.
$40 billion.
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
Something like that.
I guess that's the best way you can describe this movie. Like, it's out of the 4 movies we watched. So Reign Over Me, we've got to mention this. Reign Over Me was like 2 hours long, and the other 2, Click and 50 First Dates, were a reasonable size, like length, I should say.
This was very quick.
This was like, I want to say
92 minutes.
92, yeah, 92 minutes, which is very short.
Yes.
So a lot of the stuff just went quick. Like, just I don't have any positive to say, but like the romance itself. So at the end of the movie, you're meant to believe that these people, Adam Sandler, Winona Ryder, am I saying her name right?
Winona.
Are meant to be in love, so to say. But at the beginning of the movie, when Adam Sandler character Deeds himself inherits this fortune of 40 billion, something ridiculous, he goes to New York, and the 2 big bad businessmen are just like, yeah, you're only going to be here for a few days. So in those few days, he finds this girl, and he falls in love with her, and then in the end, she falls in love with him, and they're meant to be like madly in love, but only after 4 days. And it was just very rushed.
I'm not so worried about the rushing of the relationship, but there was no investment for me in the relationship between Adam Sandler and Winona Ryder. I was just like, it was there because it was part of the story and necessary, and I guess, well, there's a girl and there's a guy, and I guess they have to make her fall in love at the end, because that's what you got to do.
Well, the point of it was that she was
torn. Yeah, she wasn't a completely heartless bitch. She was like,
the point of it, she was trying to get a story. As a journalist, about who this guy who had become
who inherited the fortune.
Yeah, and essentially was in control of this company for the time being.
Yep.
And so she was trying to get the story, and so they could this media corporation could run their
so they could make him look bad.
Yeah, and throughout that time, even though she's sort of doing what she's doing to screw him over, she falls in love with him in spite of it.
Also,
with
because
the good-hearted Adam Sandler, Mr.
Well, because it starts off, he goes out in the town on the piss, and he just record him being an idiot, and it looks really bad. But then the next night, he goes and he saves a big woman from a burning building and all of her 9 cats, and it's like, oh, he's actually a great guy. But the way they edit it makes him look like a terrible guy. So she's like, oh, news media, you're bad. Adam Sandler, you're good. So I see the wrongs in my ways.
So what's Adam Sandler's character arc in this film?
There is none. That's the bizarre thing. Adam's character does not change.
really change.
Yeah, it's
does
like
it?
he's portrayed as this really good guy who knows everyone in his hometown, and
good guy.
Well, we'll get to that. But then he inherits his fortune, and he sort of he goes and he lives in the lap of luxury for this few days, and you sort of. It almost seems like you might think that he's going to be tempted by the wealth and by the lifestyle. And he might
might be some
change
actual
personality.
conflict there.
Right. But rather he just remains the same character.
The same good old guy.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Which, isn't... It could work. I don't think it's not very interesting.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't think that was intentional. Like, I could see if that was actually the story itself, like the money changing him or like potentially changing him, but then that would have been a better movie if he was a good guy who was just like very friendly and all that and cared about people, but the moment money came into his life, he was just like, hang on, this is actually a better life, so he thought, and then he like throws away friends and family and all that and like chooses money for a while, and then he's like, hang on, money's not that great even though it is, and then goes back to the friends and
But
family.
then I guess it's also like he's like a counterweight to all the other people, because with him doing that, it would show that how bad greed is and all that. But him remaining the same good guy is a counterweight to all the other business people, showing what greed has done to them. And even though he has all this wealth now, he's still a good guy, and it's like you don't have to be a jackass because you have all this money, like his grandfather wasn't.
Yeah, that sort of thing can work in a film. Just a decent guy being decent in a cruel world.
Yes.
But it just feels stagnant here.
Well, I think, unlike the rest of the movies, the comedy was the best part of this movie, and the story part wasn't, like the relationship, whatever.
I did not like the comedy.
I thought
this movie.
I thought this movie was the best when it was being crazy, when old mate
it was whack. Yeah.
was teleporting around.
So this is where my uncle lives?
Yes, sir, for the last 35 years of his astonishing life.
I'm Ruben, sir. This is a wicked nice elevator.
I love that.
Okay,
That was
yeah,
great.
I agree. When the comedy was really
Yeah.
extreme, that was the best part of the film. That was the best.
I
film
guess
had
that was
to
the point
offer.
where I just turned my brain off and like caveman brain.
When Adam Sandler runs after the guy and throws him in the trash can and starts beating the absolute crap out of him.
Don't worry, I'll get him. Oh, shit! Stop! Stop right there!
I was like,
Speaking
that's
of that,
pretty
very
funny.
violent movie.
Yeah, which is it's so out of nowhere, and that's like I don't know.
That's what makes it so weird that he's
Yes.
portrayed as this nice guy when he
He's
goes around
so
beating
violent.
everyone up.
That's one thing I didn't like. The whole setting of like, even though Adam Sandler wasn't even there for that long, it was an apartment. It was like a penthouse in just a building in New York. They could have like, I guess they probably didn't have the budget for it, but they could have had like a mansion. They could have done a lot with Adam Sandler's character being rich. Like instead of the two things,
could have gone further.
the two things of it being echoey and there's fruit punch in the drink fountain. They could have had a mansion where he had like servants, people cooking him every day. He could have been like, no, I want to cook myself, and just a whole heap of things could have came from the movie. They could add an extra half an hour to the movie, but they decided
But
to.
I'm glad
cheap
they
out.
didn't, because then.
Oh yeah, it's a bad movie either way, but
then it would have just been excess for the sake of excess, and we've been like, you didn't need to do it. They got the weak message across. I think.
the thing is, as a child, they would have got more of an audience. Oh, I guess it's
Saved some more money by doing what they
but, like,
did.
yeah. As a child, you just like, wow, he's doing crazy stuff because he was poor and now he's rich, and I don't know.
I think
I just wish they did more with the money.
to me, it really does feel like the sort of most stereotypically Adam Sandler film.
Okay.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah, with like
Just
almost normal and then just like crazy stuff.
Well, yeah, and it's just, no real purpose to it. There's sort of a gimmick, and then there are jokes that are added to the gimmick, and that's the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam Sandler being not Adam Sandler, but just a dumber, toned up version of Adam Sandler, I guess.
Concluding thoughts?
Yeah, this film is just not. It's not worth it. I mean, I was excited for it because it's 90 minutes long, and it didn't live up to the hype. It was just trash.
I don't even think there was any hype for it.
Well, only because it was like the fourth movie and we've seen all these, and I'd enjoyed the last three before it.
Yeah, that's true.
The first three all had points in their favour,
Mm-hmm.
to varying degrees.
And they all had some heart to them, but I don't think there was like no heart to this movie.
Oh, it tried to do heart though.
But I think
it tried to
do it successfully.
Absolute fair. It was cheap nonsense. But yeah, I think I just lost it.
Heart, cheap,
nonsense.
Oh, okay. So the first three films we watched all had strengths. This one, I feel like you could probably get as much out of it in like if you took the best 5 minutes as you would get out of the entire movie.
Yeah,
It's like a best of compilation.
I didn't come out of it feeling anything.
No.
But I did with the other three.
There has to be some more meat to the film.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
I think that's a fair thing to say with like you get a best of reel would be just as much. You get the same out of it than watching the whole movie.
Oh yeah, legit.
The best part of the movie, the best of the movie was when it was being crazy, and actual substance and heart and meat wasn't really there. Do you want to rank the 4 movies?
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
So my ranking is number 1, Reign Over Me.
Ooh.
Number 2, 50 First Dates.
All right.
Number 3, Click, and number 4, Mr. Deeds.
After you, good sir.
Well, I'm going to go in reverse order. Like you.
Reverse?
Yeah. Like you are number 4, Mr. Deeds.
Uh-huh.
Absolute trash. Don't watch it ever. In fact, I regret watching it. I hated it.
I have no regrets. It was still a short, easy movie to watch. It wasn't like I hated watching it.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll say this then. I wasn't in pain watching the movie.
Hey, it's my turn to
let him say his list and we'll talk about it.
It was still entertaining to me. I was just going back to the days. Okay, sorry, continue on.
Number 3, Click.
Uh-huh. So the same order.
It was just seriously not good. Yeah, then 50 First Dates, and then Ran Over Me, which was by far the best.
Wow, this is interesting because mine's slightly different.
Okay,
because
good.
I guess I just have a better memory, or like it brought back
some nostalgia, maybe.
Yeah, just like sitting with my family watching this movie. So I'm gonna say it in a whack order because you guys did 2 different ways.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Click.
Okay, so far.
Mm-hmm. Number 4 is Mr. Deeds. And number 2 is Reign Over Me. And number 1 is 50 First Dates. I don't know, just something, the way I felt after coming out of 50 First Dates was just like happy that I enjoyed it still and that you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, like it's not the best movie we've ever seen, but like out of these 4, I just had not more emotion. I just like had more connection with this movie because I'd watched it a million times with my family and still enjoy it to this day.
But do you think that's because of your own self or because you thought the movie was better?
I think the movie was better as well in like little pieces here and there, but it was a driving factor on why it's number 1 on that list is because of my experience with it. If we had to like do a group list for this, it would be what you guys listed.
You'd be happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do we have any final thoughts on
the pack in general? Tune in to part 2, the next video, where we play a handcrafted game consisting of a mix of Dungeons and Dragons, YuGiOh, and Adam Sandler. Who will win? Who will lose? Who will die? And what even the hell will the game be? I'll never tell.